I never thought I'd be afraid of people, but it started 2 weeks ago. And now, I can't stop thinking about it. My name is Emily Carter. I'm 25. I work at a small design studio in the city. I've always liked people, or at least I thought I did. It began at a networking event. I was standing near the drinks table, trying not to spill my wine. The room was packed, full of laughter and chatter. Everyone seemed alive but excited, distracted. That's when I noticed her. A girl, maybe my age, standing at the edge of the room, alone, just staring. No expression, no blink. Hair dark and straight, falling over her face like a curtain. I thought she was lost, or maybe shy. I turned back to the crowd. When I glanced again, she was gone. I shrugged, probably left. But over the next hour, I noticed shadows, in reflections on the windows, polished surfaces, even the glass of my wine. She appeared, always at the edge of my vision, never moving toward me, just watching. I told myself it was my imagination. The next day, at the subway, I was pressed among commuters, phones in hands, headphones, briefcases clutched. I tried to ignore the bodies surrounding me. Then I felt it, a cold spot directly behind me. I turned slightly. She was there, alone. No one else could see her. Not a glance, not a whisper, just watching. Her eyes met mine, and for a moment, I felt my stomach drop. She smiled, but it wasn't friendly. And then, she vanished. Over the next week, it got worse. Every time I was in a room full of strangers, she appeared. Cafes, office meetings, subway cars, grocery stores, always at the outskirts, always staring. No one else noticed. Not a glance, not a reaction. And every time I blinked, she was gone. But I knew she hadn't left. She was just waiting. I began to notice patterns. If I made eye contact, she would step closer, only one step at a time. The crowd never shifted. Not a single person bumped into her. She moved like a shadow, untouchable. She didn't speak. She didn't blink. She just observed. One night, I went to a party with my co-workers. Music loud, drinks in hand, everyone laughing. I spotted her almost immediately. She stood in the far corner, arms crossed, head tilted slightly. I tried to ignore her. I tried to blend in. Then she did something new. She waved. A small, subtle wave. I froze. My mind screamed at me to run. But I stayed. She started walking toward me, slowly, unnaturally. I tried to step aside. She passed through the crowd. Not a single person noticed. My heart was pounding. I stumbled outside. The cold night hid me like ice. And for the first time, she followed me outside. I went home that night, shaking, locked every door, turned on every light, stayed awake, staring out my apartment window. And that's when I realized she wasn't just following me physically. She appeared wherever strangers were. The next morning, I tried avoiding crowds, left the apartment early, walked streets empty of tourists. But even there, I felt her, behind me, just out of direct view. I glanced at a shop window reflection, and she was standing behind a stranger, blending into the crowd, smiling at me. I started researching old forums, urban legends, ghost stories. Nothing explained her until I found a single post on a forgotten forum. She appears only when surrounded by strangers. She is the shadow of loneliness. She waits for attention, for fear, for focus. And that's when I realized she isn't dangerous in the usual way. She feeds on isolation in crowds, and I've been feeding her for weeks. After that, I tried to fight her. I walked directly through crowds, kept my gaze fixed on other people, avoided mirrors, ignored reflections. It didn't work. She adapted. She shifted, maneuvered, always at the edge of my focus. At the café, I looked away. She moved closer. At the subway, she stepped in front of someone, forcing me to notice her. She became smart, intentional. Then the hallucinations began. I would glance at a group and see her inside it, twice as tall, smiling wider, watching, waiting. Sometimes I swore I heard her whisper my name, Emily. No one else reacted. No one else heard. I started avoiding social situations entirely. One night, I went to a crowded rooftop bar for my friend's birthday. The skyline glittered, music thumped, laughter echoed, and there she was, closer than ever. She stepped out of the shadows, almost at the edge of the balcony. I froze. This time, she didn't hide. She walked directly toward me. I turned to the crowd. No one else saw her. Everyone was laughing, oblivious. She stopped just behind me. Her presence pressed against my shoulder, like cold steel. I spun around. Nothing. Then I noticed the reflections. In glasses. In windows. In the shiny surfaces of the tables. She was everywhere. I ran. Out of the building. Down the street. But I realized the truth. She doesn't follow me in the traditional sense. She exists in relation to strangers. Every stranger I pass, she is there, always at the edge of my perception, waiting, smiling, learning, adapting. And I can't stop noticing her. The worst part, she started to appear in friendlier situations. Yesterday, at a small dinner with two co-workers I trust, I saw her at the doorway, waiting and staring while I froze. One of my friends laughed at me. What is it? I couldn't speak. And when I finally looked back, she was closer, in the corner of the room watching, smiling. I tried therapy, tried anti-anxiety exercises, tried meditation. Nothing helps. I feel her even when I'm alone, because I know she's only a step away when I'm with strangers. And now, I notice myself avoiding people. Every time I step outside, I scan the edges of every crowd. I glance at windows, reflections, puddles. I've stopped leaving the apartment. I don't answer calls. I don't go to parties. I don't go to the grocery store. Because every time I'm alone with strangers, she is there, and she's always smiling. Last night, I looked in the mirror, alone, and for the first time, she appeared behind me. Not at the edge, not subtle, right behind me. Smiling, I screamed, and I realized she doesn't just appear with strangers. She's learning, she's adapting. She's inside me now, and there's no escaping her. Subscribe for more.